Welcome back, Maxwell. This is Play the Hits. How you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good tonight. How about yourself?
Oh, not too shabby. This is episode 3 of Metroid Dread, and we just got the various suits. Things are looking sexy. I don't have
episode
bombs.
3, and you only have 2 energy tanks. You're weak.
Yes. Like I said, though, this game does tend to... It's more back heavy.
Okay.
You know what? You know what we could do?
What's that?
We're gonna sequence break.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna sequence break. Just a little bit, nothing too major, but there's something.
Is this a sequence break that they definitely don't want you to do, or they're like, oh, you can if you're stupid?
No, it's the one that I was telling you about that they actually reward you for doing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like,
what does this remind me?
We're gonna go get the bombs just a hair early.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so let's see here. I want to go to Dairon. Go this way. And fortunately, again, map traversal isn't terribly slow. So
No.
we should be there in no time.
And then
we're gonna punish a boss for ever crossing us. Okay, so how's your week going, buddy? I guess we talked like 2 nights ago, but you know.
Yeah, so like Sunday night, so like Saturday we played Aria, Sunday was my 12-hour shift.
Oh,
and so
lovely.
it was just like got home and showered
Drank
and then
yourself to bed.
didn't mean to. Oh, I passed out on the couch.
Nice.
I was like, I was not expecting to fall asleep that quickly, but it was just oof.
Wrong way.
Yeah, I woke up around 3 this morning and just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm up now. But yeah, it's going good. I still haven't watched Dune yet, but
Dune,
I have the day off tomorrow, so maybe.
Watch Dune. Yeah, it's actually not an
Yes.
overlong movie. It does not outstay its welcome. It's you know, long enough, but it's not like not like Godfather or one of those kind of movies. It's over in 2.5 hours. So
okay. Yeah, I have a
which
coworker
isn't
who
short.
coworker who usually falls asleep during movies, and she didn't. So it's like,
Nice.
okay, that's a pretty good endorsement.
Let's see here. Okay, that's not open. I would guess I've got can't go that way. All right, guess I should have gone this way.
Mm.
We're gonna spend the entire episode trying to do this damn sequence break.
Good sequence break is fun though.
Yeah.
So how's your week going?
Just had Monday so far. Hung out, relaxed, played with the boys.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Oh. I've gotten used to playing on hard mode, so I'm like used to enemies doing a lot more damage than that to me. So like if you see me going like way out of my way to avoid a hit, it's because my body is still geared for hard mode.
Yeah. Which I imagine is kind of difficult in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just like I said. If you're already used to avoiding enemies' hits, then you're already halfway there.
Yeah, you said that it just doubles the damage.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it just doubles the damage. I haven't seen any enemies with new moves or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been cool if they did like. I guess games like I'm trying to think of any Nintendo game where the difficulty really just changes the game. I'm sure there are, but I'm thinking of like Zelda, or it's just like, okay, we'll put them on some platforms, I guess, and they're always healing, which is like, well, how does that make sense that they're always healing? Like,
right.
That's not difficult. It just pisses me off.
Yeah, that's just stupid. That's a stupid thing to do, Nintendo. Come on,
stupid mechanic.
And your developers are stupid. Why are you
Seeing
all
this
so
game
stupid?
kind of does make me wish for a Switch Pro, but since they came out with the OLED, I feel like that's just not going to happen for a while. Like I don't think that's in the cards for a long while now.
Yeah, and you know, my thought on the OLED is I just don't use it enough in portable mode to justify that. Because functionally, it's the same system just with a nicer display, if I understand right. I mean, there's some other like little quality features, like I really enjoy the improved kickstand because again,
yeah,
that's just hot garbage. But
That definitely looks nice. The speakers are supposed to be a bit better, and the $50 difference. I mean, the quality of life things. It's enough that if I didn't have a Switch before, it would be a no-brainer to go to the OLED, even though it's $50 more expensive. If the kickstand, the speakers, and the screen would justify it for me.
Exactly. If I were picking up a Switch for the first time, that would be the one that I get. But as it stands, I've got a perfectly great Switch that I really use 95% of the time docked. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm basically considering this a Nintendo console, not a Nintendo handheld, even though it's very clearly both.
It's definitely both, and it's almost like I'm about you. It's like 95-5.
Yeah.
Maybe lately like 90-10. But anytime I do take it out, it's kind of like, oh yeah, wow, this is really cool. Like I kind of forget.
Yeah, you know, it is nice to.
I never do it for more than 2 hours, and like an hour and a half or something. I never. It's like at 68. It's like almost close to 70%, and I'm like, oh yeah, this. I never feel like it's gonna run out. You know.
Right.
So it's. I don't know. It's fine. The battery's okay, even though I have an OG Switch with the worse battery or less efficient processor, I guess. But yeah, it's plenty.
Yeah, mine too. Actually, I don't need. Connor's got the second generation one. I do notice, like, for some reason, maybe it's just like me being myself, but to me it feels like less cheap in the hand, if that makes any sense.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, almost like they just maybe subtly improved the plastic somehow.
Okay. I kind of wish they had some news on. Oh, nice. Some news on the Joy-Cons. Like, yeah, we did something where, oh god, where it's not going to drift anymore, and instead they're releasing these dumbass statements all controllers they don't last forever, and it's like that.
Yeah, but
does
dude,
not inspire confidence.
They last 3 or 4 years, which is all the longer the Switch has been out. 5
Seriously,
years?
Like my original PlayStation 1 controllers and my SNES controllers, for that matter, still work. Some of the SNES controllers definitely got gunky. Yeah. But my PlayStation controllers, those are like perfect.
Yeah, they work like new, and that's just a shitty thing for Nintendo to say. That's just them basically saying they have no plans to own up to it. And again, it's on the one hand, I love Nintendo. On the other hand, I fully acknowledge that they do some really anti-consumer bullshit sometimes, and that's just them.
They're the company that I'm like. Sony, I always just feel great. Nintendo, sometimes I feel very, very good being a Nintendo fan, and sometimes I feel a little embarrassed, with some of the things they do.
All right, so here's the part where we may die a couple times.
Ooh, nice. Like, what do you think, This
is what you get for sequence breaking.
That's what I was going to say, like, do they expect you to do this with the gravity suits?
No.
Later, or what?
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Too slow. That's all right.
Ooh, I like that death animation.
We'll get it.
It's weirdly hot in a way.
It is. As are all Samus's death animations.
Oh my god.
Inspired, 5 generations now of hentai.
It's awakening, so yeah. Oh my god.
There's our episode title, 5 generations of hentai.
It's awakened something.
Right.
Just like really...
It's a girl! Oh my god.
So what are you supposed to do with this part? Like, what are you supposed to have that would help you with this part later?
A double jump.
Double jump. Interesting.
Yeah, before you get the space jump, you actually get a double jump. Weirdly enough.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh.
I always love a good that's the first time in a Metroidvania game where you feel really powerful, is when you get a double jump.
No!
It's just so much more. Oh, jeez.
I got the first harder jump, but not the second one. We're dead. So I'll just enjoy that minor twinge of interaction and dive right back in. She looks so upset about having to do this again. God damn it. You suck, player.
Oh man.
Yeah, no though, I fully get what you're saying. Like, my Sony controllers all have lasted me the entire console lifespan and beyond. In fact, the only one that I've ever had any issue with is the the PS4, and that wasn't the controller itself. It was the joystick. It just started to literally wear off.
Gotcha. Yeah, every once in a while I'll still, because I have my wired PlayStation 1 controller without the sticks.
Yeah.
And it's just like a, I don't know, like a really nice SNES controller. You know, very, very similar.
Right.
And
yeah,
it still works perfectly. There's like there's not an issue with it. What's up?
I said I think I still have one of those sitting around too.
Yeah. Good for fighting games.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, like I'm one of those weird people that like I don't know. There's certain styles of like this game. I really wish you got to use the D-pad to control Samus, because that would just feel a lot better to me.
Oh, you don't, huh?
No, the D-pad controls like the map and some other like minor things.
Okay, yeah, that would feel better.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And then like even like isometric 3D games, like say FF7 with its pre-rendered backgrounds. Mm-hmm. I prefer the D-pad on those. It just
really?
Okay. It just feels tighter to me.
Okay.
And maybe it's just because I got used to it. Like, I never owned the DualShock for the PS1, so... It wasn't until I got my PS2 that I played any PS1 games with the DualShock.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm going the right way here. This feels like something I could fuck up. Okay, yep.
So what do you think the chances are that this reconciliation bill is... Ooh. Is this also something you're getting kind of early?
Yes.
I'm assuming? Nice.
Yeah. Neither of these, like, break the game in any major way by getting them early, but they certainly do make it so that you can collect a few extra drops and items beforehand.
Oh, cool.
Without
so maybe saves on some backtracking a little bit.
Right. Check this shit out. Zippity-doo. Let's go get some bombs. Actually, damn it. There may be a door back down here that I want to open. Samus is just like blasting through all these places.
Yeah.
Nope, I need the spood booster.
She's just done the whole bounty hunter business. Going to these fucking desolate planets.
I'm ready to be fucking done.
Acid entered the joints of her suit.
Right. After the final boss of this game, I'm sure she is ready to be done. I won't say anything about it until we get to him, but it is actually probably the most challenging Metroid boss I've fought.
Oh, nice.
Which is a fitting and apt conclusion.
Yeah, did they say something like, well, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but yeah, I thought I heard something like official, not like a spoiler, being like, oh, this is supposed to be the last, the last Metroid or something.
No, I hardly think it's going to be the last Metroid, especially since
totally doubt that.
Especially since it's being a huge success financially and review-wise. But it is...
Yeah, the most successful one.
It is supposed to, and it does, in many ways, wrap up the main kind of Metroid story arc that began technically with the first game, but really with Super Metroid, when they started actually connecting the games.
Yeah. The whole, I don't know, Zebus arc, Space Pirate arc, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's
funny
Metroid
because
arc.
there's no Space Pirates in this one. Oh. Wait,
what is that?
That's a power bomb.
Oh.
I would need the regular bomb to get to it, though. Have no fear.
Oh, kind of looks like it's past this room. unless you're getting the spring ball.
Oh no, there is no spring ball. You get it automatically with the morph ball. Like you can jump.
Oh, that's right.
You can just jump by default with it. They quit making it its own separate upgrade.
Yeah, which kind of didn't make sense a little bit.
And there is also no spider ball in this one.
Oh, I forgot about the spider ball.
Most people forget about the spider ball.
Yeah, because it's like once you get the screw attack or the space jump, who uses the spider ball?
Right. Yeah, it was just straight up omitted in this one. Right in the face.
But yeah, reconciliation bill. What do you think's going to happen with that?
I think the Republicans are going to muddy the waters to the point where there is no reconciliation bill.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what happened. Well, yeah, but I feel like it's fucking just Manchin and Cinema that are the reason. Which is like really two people. You're gonna change the bill that much, but it's like we need them.
Yeah,
so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I hate to sound like such a liberal, but it really does suck that we need Republicans for shit, because,
yeah,
you know, they just will not cooperate, and they'll wait until one of their guys is in power, and then they'll make not as good changes that were on the table, 4 years ago. When the Democrats wanted to do it.
I mean, you don't sound. What the fuck? This thing is the most annoying enemy ever.
It really is.
Holy shit. I don't think you don't sound like crazy or anything for saying that. Like, think about even things that most Democrats like wouldn't support. You're usually gonna get one or two, at least a few people like, okay, we should pass this or whatever. I mean, like as far as like Trump's relief COVID thing,
Right.
Like you got a lot of Democratic support with that, and usually things will be like bipartisan if Republicans are like pushing something. I mean, not always, but
yeah. But I mean, if it makes sense to do, Democrats will do it regardless of who comes up with it, right?
Most of the time,
Republicans,
yes.
not so much.
And this is things that should be no-brainers, like voting rights bill. I feel like is like a no-brainer, and the January 6th committee. I mean, people were hiding under desks and barricading doors and stuff, and they were like, no,
Max, they just loved their freedom so much they had to do it.
And also the fact that they are so completely united that it is always like completely party line where it'll be like zero Republican votes.
I kind of wonder, like, two people who are Republicans, like, does it get tiring to have like everything get explained to you as a world-ending calamity, Like,
I know. Like,
Biden wants to pass a tax bill that makes taxes 2% higher across the board. This is a violation of our freedoms and not what our Constitution was designed to do, and Jesus would never tell you to pay your taxes. And, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, seriously, like, after a while, like, how can you believe it? Where it's just like, there's not a single good thing that's happening. It's all just, like, doom and gloom.
Right.
Like, I don't know. And I know it's like, nice. If you're in the news business, especially, like, the opinion piece news business, no one wants to tune in and hear, like, oh, here's what's going right, and we should support our president. And I'm like, no, I get that.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I absolutely was boisterous in my hatred for Trump. Like, because of his principles and character, I didn't want necessarily I didn't necessarily want his administration to fail, but I always wanted him to fail. Like, me too. If a group of well-meaning Republicans can pass meaningful legislation, fine. And I'm sure I'll disagree with part of it, but that's just government and politics.
Like actual
in general.
compromise is fine.
Yeah,
that's what has to happen.
You don't always get your way. But whenever Trump got his way, which was an alarming amount,
a lot,
it always felt like a little piece of something good about the American system died. It was, I mean, because
I mean, it really is the story of our time. And this is going to be in the history books, is when democracy was under attack.
And I hope we remember it with like, man, remember how close we came instead of, hey, remember when we actually did used to have democratic elections
seriously.
And there was a two-party system instead of Republicans and whoever else is stupid enough to stand in their way. like in Russia, basically.
Yeah, seriously. Like
where they have finger quotes elections, but the winner is already decided, and
yeah.
No, but really, like that's the exact system Trump is trying to get us to buy into.
He is, and it wasn't even like trying to just in the courts with lawyers to be like, oh, we should look into this. Most of the time, it was, oh, you just got to overturn this. Just give it to me.
Overturn it.
There's obviously some fraud.
Thing. Yeah. Do the right thing for the country. You really want Joe Biden to be president?
And they do exactly what they were doing. Like, it's coming, and there's books coming out, but it's scary how close we came. And I thought it was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I can't believe so many people are buying into it.
Yeah.
But it was literally like Pence was, oh my gosh, should I certify these results?
Yeah,
Shouldn't I?
Pence was actually on the fence, and wasn't it? Oh shoot! It was a former vice. Yeah, it was a former vice president who told him
from Indiana.
It was someone he respected, so obviously not Joe Biden.
Bob Dole. It's not. I know he wasn't
Dole's
vice president,
dead, right?
But is Dole dead?
Yeah, Dole's dead.
Damn. Did you already miss it? Oh shit.
But yeah, like that was almost an actual waking nightmare. I mean,
yeah, there's that.
If Pence had done that, it would have been a lot harder to.
I know.
Actually let the system do what it was designed to do.
Yeah, and then trying to use the Justice Department to like hold press conferences and say like, oh yeah, we're gonna investigate some allegations here, like, and that's what they were doing with everything else. They weren't able to get the Justice Department. Shit. Oh, this one has your number.
Oh my god, the timing on. See what I mean about how it changes?
It's yeah.
You're never quite sure which you're gonna get.
I think the only reason he wasn't able to get the Justice Department to like have a face that something was going on with the election was that basically everyone in his administration was like, yeah, we're gonna quit if you do that. Like,
right.
I can't remember his name, but there was someone in the Justice Department very like, hey, we're gonna send this letter to Georgia basically with all this bullshit and saying that they have to like they have to we're going to investigate some things. And I think the acting attorney general was like, we're not going to do that. And Trump was like, well, what if I fire you? And this other guy in the Justice Department, I make him the attorney general, and that's when everyone was like, no, we'll all quit, but
yeah, it's because at that point you literally are talking about a straight up overturning of democratic process.
Yes.
I mean, you
so many steps of the way they're trying to do.
The entire system of checks and balances was literally crafted to prevent this exact thing from happening.
Yeah. It is scary.
The founding fathers didn't say half of the shit that we say they say, but one thing they absolutely were pretty adamant about was that we should be a democracy. Mm-hmm. So like the one thing that the Constitution is very explicit about is due process and voting. Oh,
yeah. God. And like, God bless the election workers that used to be a very
under pressure,
there was honor in that job,
right.
and they have a shortage of, most of the time it's volunteers,
right?
It's only like the higher levels that people are getting paid, and they're getting death threats and everything now.
Yeah, they're getting death threats, and there's like Trump people with guns outside their offices, and you remember the story of the guy in Georgia, right? Who was an actual Republican, and he got a phone call from the President of the United States telling him to just straight up lie.
Yep.
Like what does the middle manager at JCPenney's do in that situation? I'm serious, because I don't know what this guy actually did for a living, but I mean, he wasn't a politician. He was a volunteer.
And what do you think is gonna, like, it's the president, or at least, or even if it's someone on behalf of the president,
right?
And and it seems really legit,
right?
Even if you know in your heart it's wrong,
mm-hmm.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Right?
Like, are they just gonna kill me now? Like.
Yeah. How
can you say no to the president?
Exactly. How many times does the leader of the free fucking world call your personal number and give you a direct order? I mean, that's that had to have taken some real presence of mind to understand that, like, I shouldn't be doing this. You know,
yeah, there was definitely
crazy.
some people who made the right choice that really prevented a catastrophe. And I don't want to be hyperbolic, but
no, they actually did.
It really seems like we were on the brink.
Their name should
there.
be inscribed on a wall somewhere for future generations to read. Like, you know.
And this is the shit I was saying earlier. Like, I work with a few people who like vote Republican, and I try to engage them because we definitely agree on a lot of things.
Sure.
You know, but the whole this is a huge thing.
It's
and
like
this
they're
is
wearing
like,
blinders for this.
yeah, it's like you gotta hold these people accountable, hold them responsible. I mean, what in a perfect world,
you know, as Republicans,
a lot of people would be going to jail.
Yeah, as Republicans, don't you want more from the people representing you? I mean, do you really want someone in office who holds that little regard for the will of the people?
Yeah,
I mean, that's...
and all they could talk about, like, usually it won't even be me bringing stuff up. I try not to. I've kind of gotten tired of it. You know, I have some people at work who talk politics a lot, and it's like I can't let stuff go, so I'll engage them. But then someone else will come, someone who usually doesn't talk at all will come back and be like, well, Biden did this, or, you know, oh, you say we got a maniac out of office, well, now we got someone worse. And it's like,
oh, God.
Really?
That's got to just be... I mean, don't get me wrong, I hear lots of shit, too, from people in my field, but yeah, that's just... Oh, my God, so maddening.
Like, they did this with Russia when there was, it seemed like this was in the beginning when there wasn't really a whole lot of smoking guns.
Right.
But it really seemed obvious that the Trump administration was working heavily with Russia. Mm-hmm. And now it's like completely confirmed. Like, yeah, totally 100%. Confirmed.
Like,
people
have
open.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out in the open. And they still don't talk about that. It's like, guys, this is traitorous behavior.
Yeah, but like, it was done to protect our country. Is literally what they think about it. Like yeah, it was.
I want to hear them say that. Like
they do though.
Make me the fucking argument.
They say whatever deals he tried to make behind closed doors with Russians and spies and whatever else. It was all done in a selfless effort to compromise himself but preserve the Union. You know, it was like that's honestly what they think about Donald J. Trump. And I don't get, like, why this man? You know, like, why him? Of all the people, why him? Like, why is he your false god? That just doesn't...
If people couldn't bring themselves to vote for Biden, and it's just like they didn't vote, it's like, okay, like, whatever. But to a second time be like, yeah, this person makes fun of people with disabilities, totally misogynist, have like 26, sexual assault charges.
Complete disregard for due process and everything else. And
just a bully, and it proves themselves every single time they open their mouth that they're just a bully.
Well, and not only that, though, but like incompetent to lead. I think, like, even if you're willing to excuse all those, it's like, oh, yeah, but when it's down to the wire, he really pulls through. He doesn't even do that.
No. And he's not even a businessman. And I've heard that argument that it is just like,
he'll run it like one of his businesses. Shit. Like what? Into the ground? Yeah, we got Kraid
his failing businesses that she just stood there like a gangster.
I know. Samus is a straight up gangster in this.
She is in this game.
But yeah, dude, that you're right. I share your frustrations because, like, you know, it's maddening because you really can't attack him. They just don't hear it.
Yeah.
And not even attack, but like reproach, you know?
Yeah, seriously. Like, hey, these are some serious issues. Like, can we talk about this?
Like, if Biden were doing these same things, I would have major fucking issues. Like,
oh yeah,
I would be wondering, like, is this the person that I voted for, and why?
Yeah.
And you know, there's some things, you know, particularly surrounding Afghanistan, where I am definitely not happy with the way his administration is handling. I absolutely know that, you know, some administration had to do it, but you know, it's still sloppy and it's still people. Yeah.
I'm not going to blindly defend things that he does, especially when it's like
I'm also not really super crazy at all about how his administration is handling refugees from Haiti and Mexico.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not going great.
The border crisis isn't getting better.
No, and I'm fully ready to admit that because, you know, one of the big reasons I voted for Biden, not that I was ever going to vote for Trump, but one of the main reasons I did vote for Biden is because I thought that situations like that would be handled much more humanely. And so far, not really.
No.
But it's also just starting to come into the limelight, especially with Haiti. So
yeah.
So here's the reward for getting the bombs early. Yeah, they straight up rocket you into Kraid's belly button where you bomb him to death.
And so you just kind of skip that.
Yeah, that whole second
part.
That whole second leg of the fight is gone. Isn't that crazy?
That is really cool.
I admire Nintendo for play testing this game enough to see that there was a way to get the bombs early, and instead of making it so that you couldn't, just giving you a little Easter egg like this.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Poor Kraid.
Does he die the same way if you just?
Yeah, it just takes longer to get there.
Gotcha. That is so awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. So that was our little sequence break. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I read about how to do it.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah, like, did the first time you played, is that what you did? Or?
No, I didn't know you could. I read about it afterwards when I was looking at, like, ways that people are going about, like, the, 2-hour and under challenge, or 3-hour and under challenges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on where I go, like, what I see first, and it's like, okay, I'll go this way, but things like that, like, I know a lot of times I'll be like, okay, this seems like it might be possible, and I'll kill myself a dozen times to try to do it.
Yeah,
that
like
so
what you
cool.
saw there with the grapple beam bit, doing the like the jump slide thing. It's not easy to do, and it's also not like an actual mechanic. It's one of those things like the wave dash in Smash Brothers.
Oh, you're just kind of abusing something.
Right, exactly. But anyways, yeah. So again, like the biggest. What remains to me the biggest mystery out of all of this shit that's coming out is like why do people who I know aren't bad people, like they certainly have some beliefs that I consider misguided, but I know that for a lot of them it comes from a place of either wanting to maintain, like they're law and order kind of Republicans, or they genuinely just don't see enough of the world outside of their specific community that they could understand how anybody wouldn't want things to be a certain way.
I think it's a lot of the second. I mean, it's both of those things for sure.
But then when they defend Trump, it's almost like their eyes glaze over and they become these just drones for this man. And again, I still can't understand what makes him worthy of this kind of blind loyalty and appreciation. Like, of all the people on God's green earth, why him?
I think for a lot of people I know, it seems they haven't said this, but it just from what I can gather, that they're not like, oh, I love Trump so much. It's more like the bubble that they kind of live in, what they're being fed, and it's like some of them say like, oh, I don't even watch the news. It's like, but you interact with media.
Yeah,
and most of our media, like you're on Facebook, especially the older people are like much more on Facebook than us now.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I'm recoiling from Facebook these days.
Like Facebook gets very segmented, very they put you in a bubble. Their algorithm does that on purpose.
Well, the funny thing is, the thing that I hate most about it is because of my religious beliefs. It thinks I'm a Republican sometimes.
Oh, God.
And so it'll, like, show me these ads like, guess what Lion Joe's doing today? And I'm like,
oh, my God.
Holy fuck.
Jesus.
Well, then I'll, like, flag it as misinformation.
But it comes back after a few months. They're like, but Christian.
Yeah, but you're a Christian. Well, and again, that's the question that's driving me nuts, is that people are honestly asking, like, how can you call yourself a Christian and not support Donald Trump? How can you call yourself a Christian and support Donald Trump? Jesus. Have you read the Bible? Have you even opened it?
The character of the man. Like, not even talking about all the crimes he's committed.
Oh,
like,
and that's...
Just as a person.
Yeah, just even as, like, a public persona, how could you willingly attach your good name to that man's likeness? Yeah.
I really think it is more of a, how some people on the left are, where it's like Donald Trump is just the most horrible person, which, you know, of course I am too, because that's reality.
Yeah.
But I think it's like they're in their bubble, and so it's just like Joe Biden's doing this, Joe Biden's doing that, and that's all they know is like this other person is doing all these terrible things because they'll take things out of context. Like person at work, again, show me these TikToks, show me, you know, these news reports from Fox News or something.
And they always think the next thing they say is going to be what really convinces you, you know? Like,
yeah. And it's
even though it's like transparently wrong or incorrect or just like factually not true, you know?
It's crazy to see it. Like, I don't watch Fox News myself, like at home or anything.
No, I saw enough of that in Fort Wayne that I can't even turn it on.
I would
anymore.
Imagine like every public place you go to.
It was really frustrating because, you know, I mean, I try not to be too explicit about my education or work stuff on here, but, you know, I went to a seminary for my education, right? And of all the places you wouldn't expect to see political talk soup of any kind on there, but they had it playing in the student commons and in the hallways, and like Fox News at a religious institution, you know.
Yeah,
that still to this day just sits so not well with me.
It's like, how does this happen to people?
Yeah.
To like huge groups of people?
I straight up, my fourth year there, I straight up got a job at the coffee shop on campus just so that I could control the TV.
Oh, nice. At that point, you get exposed to that so much, you're not even.
I just
like,
fucking put ESPN
MSNBC.
on just I'm not the biggest sports ball follower, you know. It's just. Yeah, I just needed something different on there.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how I don't want to say they're masterful at this, but it's like they'll put it in a way where it's like there's a nugget of truth to a lot of what they're saying, but they sensationalize it.
Right. They'll say something that happened kind of, sort of, you know? Like, it's like, yes, this person was in this place, but the context of it is completely wrong, you know? It's, yeah. Anyway, go on.
It's just framing things. Like a state tax is something that's only going to affect like people with a lot of generational wealth.
Right, but they are able to factually say that it is a tax increase, right? Yeah.
And they'll say it's a death tax. And it's like, oh, a death tax to everyone, right? Like they don't say that it's not really going to affect everyone.
Right.
But if you keep that part silent, you, without even realizing it, start to internalize some things.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you just multiply that over the years.
Yep.
And people are like, whoa, it's scary unless I vote for a Republican, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I was showing something today, and it's just like something that's really good. Like, oh, say this reconciliation bill that hopefully passes. Part of it is, federal workers getting like help with childcare, you know, and getting like stipends for that. And it's just babysitters for the government. And it's like, okay, yeah, of course that sounds horrible. Like,
right,
you're gonna like more entitlement, more this and that. But that stuff also plays because things like fast food workers getting $15 an hour. I know so many people who are like, they don't deserve $15 an hour. It's like, no, like, yeah, they do. And it's like, well, I don't get that. You know, these people don't get that much for doing much harder work. It's like,
right,
they should.
You ought to be fighting for your fucking.
Yeah, don't put this person down. Fight for your shit.
Yeah, like you absolutely should be getting paid more than $15 an hour. I mean,
like their success doesn't mean that you're failing.
You shouldn't have a master's degree and just be getting by. You know,
seriously.
I'm sorry, like. Again, I'm well aware of the landmine I've stepped into with that Republican-wise. Because they're like, oh, you elitist. Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Well, but that is what they do, right? The moment
I know, and it's... But at the same time, for so many jobs, and yes, they might not pay well, but like jobs like before you're a therapist, like behavioral health techs and counselors, like so many places require a master's degree. And they don't pay much at all, but these are very necessary jobs.
Yeah,
you know,
without question.
It's and yes, they're the step to being like a program therapist or a lead therapist, which pays a lot more.
Right.
But not everyone's going to get there, and everyone has to do their time in a much worse paying job.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
And so it's like, oh, you elitist. It's like, what?
Right.
Who do you expect?
And again, with like the fast food worker wages as kind of the principal example, we're not just talking about fast food workers. We're talking about literally everyone who is doing, unskilled labor as a means to support their family, and like they need to be. They need to be able to live. It's not.
And our lives would be.
Not a luxury.
I'm not saying our lives would be worse, like we couldn't survive, but no, it's very nice that we have people who work weekends at the grocery store who will, put the pizzas in the oven.
Yeah, totally.
At 2 a.m. Like, yeah.
I mean, I've put the pizzas in the oven, and I got paid not enough to afford rent. Like, if it weren't for my dad, I wouldn't have had safe living conditions in college.
Yeah, is it so much to ask for a living wage? And even, like you said, like, you were pretty young. You weren't, like, some teenager, but you weren't, like, having your career yet.
No, not
And so they're like, oh, these are just temporary jobs. It's like, well, you still have to pay rent.
Not for a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, one, not for a lot of people. And two, for people that can't have an actual career yet, they're still paying rent. They're still paying for their own food.
Yeah, they have to live and drive and have utilities the same as everyone else.
Yeah, not everyone's going to be like living with their parents, for until they're 30 years old or something.
Right, and at that point, then it basically
and it's also no wonder why they do that.
Right, you end up getting in such a hole working these jobs. You actually go into more debt than if you hadn't worked at all, basically, and it becomes impossible to go to school because you're just trying to keep your head above water for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It quite literally is a imprisonment system. It's crazy that America of all countries not only still has this system, but has people vehemently defending it.
That's the greatest trick that the elite has ever pulled off.
Right.
Is turning us against each other, and it works on so many people.
Right,
it sucks.
Turning the people who are literally the backbone of the labor force into the bad guys.
We should have a common enemy, and yes, I say enemy, and they don't have to be the enemy, but how they treat people, the people who bring them their wealth and create it.
That makes
yes,
them
they are the enemy.
Yeah. Because they're actively trying to build their wealth over your dead body. It's nightmarish.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite new abilities.
So that's not the run or something.
No, you'll see me using this though for the rest of the game though. Ugh.
Does that have like offensive stuff?
No.
Can you like go through weaker enemies?
It's like
that's
zip
awesome
around
dash.
much faster. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is awesome. I'm gonna go back down this way to see if there's any items that I missed because I took a shortcut by getting the grapple beam early. Wow, that thing just took a chunk out of me.
Oh yeah, it did.
Ugh. I don't think there's an item down here that I missed, but worth looking.
You are starting to get like a lot more varied locales. Like this one still definitely has the
industrial vibe, but
the industrial vibe.
It's almost like a water treatment sort of look.
Yeah.
I like the weird whales.
This is cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Like I'm definitely, since this game started, I've been feeling this way, but like especially right now, and I'm assuming later too, is like definitely getting that alien world.
Yeah. Totally.
Pretty isolated. There's no one else but me and these creatures here.
Which is exactly what you want from Metroid, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's where Metroid is at its best.
I am hoping that, I mean, it's a given. There's no way we're not going to see the Prime trilogy on Switch. It's just a matter of when.
Oh,
I have to imagine they're already waiting, like they already have it in the wings done.
I'm sure they will. Maybe they'll like release it like as like a pre-order thing for Prime 4 when they eventually get around to that or something.
Yeah.
But
I would like to finish, like actually play through and finish 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have no idea what happens in that game.
Well, and I didn't tell you this. When Nick was over, we went to a used game store, and I straight up picked up a copy of Prime for the GameCube.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
That was one that I had my brother sold while I was in college.
Yeah.
So that old chestnut.
Yeah. Hey, the Wii. Do you have a Wii U?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. Okay, yeah, because Arkham Origins, you got that for the Wii U, didn't you?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. I miss that system sometimes. The Switch
yeah, the Wii U was not a bad system.
Definitely, the Switch is better.
No,
and I would
totally.
if I had to choose one, it's the Switch all the way. Not even just for the games, but if I had to choose between portable and docking versus having this tablet screen, I would choose the Switch.
Oh yeah.
But there are some games that I wish that still had its place, you know? Like, it did
for God's sake.
increase the immersion sometimes, you know? And I think about, like, Arkham Origins, it's like, hey, here's your little, like, back computer or something.
Right,
and
yeah.
your map and everything.
It was a cool system.
Yeah, and games like Star Fox Zero, only possible on the Wii U.
Right.
Like, so, I don't know. I know it didn't sell
No,
well
I always liked the
all.
Wii U. I thought it was a fine little system.
It was an inventive. It was a lot more innovative than the Wii, and people don't give it that. People are like, "Oh, the Wii was so innovative." It's like
the Wii was a shovelware factory. I'm sorry. I like the Wii just fine, but holy cow!
Yeah, seriously, it got casual people interested in gaming more.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the Wii Remote was very innovative. The Wii Remote Plus was a little bit more.
And Nintendo tried to shoehorn it in so dramatically that there were a lot of games. I already got this. There were a lot of games where, like, I really felt like they would have been substantially better if there were no motion controls or motion controls were optional.
Yeah. The Nintendo first-party games, they definitely tried to get that in there too much.
Yeah.
And even like Skyward Sword now proves like, hey, the stick controls, that's just fine.
Yeah.
Like that works well. And then
a little too
well.
That's
why I appreciated No More Heroes, because that came out on the Wii. And they were like, you know what? We're just gonna have a button be the sword slashes, you know? And all the motion control was flick it in this direction for like the death blows, and that worked really well.
And
you
jack
know, and
it
made
off
you feel
in order
powerful.
to recharge, you know.
Yeah, it made you feel powerful and horny. It worked well.
No More Heroes is a complicated game.
I would, if I had to sell one Nintendo system, it would definitely be the Wii. Because
I'm kind of in this, like, I'm sure we're in the minority there, but the Wii I thought was a weaker offering than the GameCube or the Wii U.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive the Wii U plays Wii games.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely, and 100%.
Now I know that the
full
Wii
Wiimote functionality and plays Wii is entirely backwards compatible,
which is great because there was a lot of fantastic Wii games, of course. And I know the Wii played GameCube games, but just give me a GameCube. Like,
well, and it's kind of weird that, like, realistically speaking, the Wii U ought to be able to play GameCube games, but it doesn't, because the way that they did backwards compatibility with the Wii is they actually built a Wii inside that
GameCube
system. Yeah.
Yeah, they built a GameCube at, like...
No. They built a Wii inside the Wii U. Like, in order to play Wii games, you have to access the Wii menu. Like, there is an actual...
that's right.
It's basically two systems in one, which, again, makes me wonder why it can't play GameCube games. Because, literally, the Wii could. It was fully backwards compatible.
But I think it's just it does have some of the hardware, but I think it is still emulation. Okay. Well, I don't know. It's not emulation though, because all the Wii games work perfectly. You know, there would be some weirdness if it was emulation.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So I don't know what the story is there, because if in order to make it work they had to build a Wii inside the thing, then part of the Wii's architecture is the ability to play GameCube games.
Yeah, right. Well, that's just... I think there's the Wii architecture, but then there's the GameCube architecture. And yes, the Wii could play GameCube games, but that's because they built a GameCube... Oh, God.
I know. I hate it so much.
You don't see me.
You don't see shit.
That one's like a cat.
Yeah, right?
They just built a GameCube literally like in the top of the Wii. And so I think they just had the Wii hard, yes, they did build a Wii and the Wii U, but I think they left out the GameCube.
Okay, like I wouldn't I'm not sure enough how technology works to understand why that's even an option, but yeah, no, I get it. But...
Yeah, because none of the GameCube stuff, none of the stuff that allowed it to play GameCube games, the Wii, helped with the Wii games. Like
right.
It was like two very separate things. Like how the PS2 kind of was, although I guess the PS2 was different because they were similar architectures or something. But yeah, for the Wii, it was definitely like, let's cram a GameCube in there.
Yes.
That's kind of what it was.
Well, because weirdly enough, the GameCube kind of underperformed a little bit too back in the day.
It did.
And so, a lot of people who didn't own a GameCube got the Wii and then bought some of the GameCube library.
Yeah, like me.
Feeling.
I definitely was borrowing people's GameCubes and seeing a lot of games, like through my cousin.
Yeah.
So like, I never played completely through any of the Metroid Prime games myself. You know, I just saw the first two played.
See, I was super lucky because my parents were divorced, and so I had a PS2 at my dad's and a GameCube at my mom's.
Nice. Yeah, you told me your weekend when Prime came out.
Oh yeah, and you know, dude, I really like now that I actually have that game in my library again, and don't have to do the motion controls. I would very much like to play that on Play the Hits in the next year or so.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Continue our Metro. Although the motion controls,
all the Metroid.
the motion controls for Corruption, or is it Corruption? That's the third one.
Yes.
Yeah, because 2 is Echoes. I thought worked really well.
Yeah, like... no, the remakes on the Wii were actually really, really well done. I will give them credit, but I can't picture myself being able to sit here at my desk with the microphone 2 feet away from my face while doing motion controls.
Oh yeah, I totally get that.
Like I would cock it up bad.
And I don't know how well the motion, like I know the right Joy-Con, I think, acts as a Wii remote if you want it to. I don't know if it's... Ooh.
Oh dear!
That was kind of dear! Kind of slick. Oh.
No! Oh.
Ugh.
Okay. I forget where I'm supposed to be going with this thing. Oh, for God's sake. Alright, so let's see here. We've got... where we need to be is right here. There's a door here, a door there. My guess is this one. We've got to make our way down here somehow. But I'm not sure how to do that. Let's find out. Wait, have I been through this door? I thought I did.
That one? I don't know. You did go right the last time.
Well, let's see what happens if this opens up anything for me. It knows. It knows.
Like, it's staying right there. Come on.
He knows what's up.
This is just sport to it.
Yeah, right.
It's learned how to game.
Oh, for God's sake.
Whoa. That's close. Oh.
We're fine. We're fine.
Away.
Okay, so... Nope. Damn. Alright, so... I think what I need to get next is
There's around
the speed
right
booster.
here where you...
I need to get the speed booster, and that'll get me down there. But where's the speed booster? Where, I ask you, Max?
You played this game. You tell me.
Something like that. So let's see. Those 2 items, the bomb first I would have gotten right after Kraid. Then I would have gotten the phase shift. And then I would have gotten the grapple beam. So basically we're playing the game just a little bit backwards. And right now we're at the point where I would have just gotten the grapple beam. So
okay,
we need to be looking for like grapple beam doors.
Grapple beam things.
Yeah, pay attention to.
Oh, is that? Do they show you what kind of doors on the map?
Yes, they do. I don't see any grapple beam doors in here, which makes me wonder if I'm supposed to head back to Kataris. Perhaps?
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily see all the blocks and stuff if there's a place that those are blocking your way.
Yeah. Because let's see here.
But yeah, maybe you start going back up.
I can't get down here, and I'm pretty sure that's, like, getting down into this zone is what leads me to the central unit. So... yeah, I think what we need to be doing is... okay. I have a rough idea. This may be a next time on Play the Hits.
Alright.
But we'll get close. No, wait a minute, because how am I supposed to do this normally?
Yeah, there's no grapple beam.
No, there's not.
And is it just dead end if you go up there?
Because there's a grapple beam on this side that you pull out. How am I supposed to do this? Did I get the grapple beam, like, super early? Like, I'm wondering if I'm supposed to have, like, the space jump here. But if that were the case, why would they make it so that I have to go through that tunnel up top?
Now, stupid question.
I don't remember. So I don't remember how I did my first playthrough.
You can't get to the tunnel up there?
No, I can, but I'm finger quotes not supposed to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like, you think they would make it easier with something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because, like, you're not supposed to be... like, that's not
like, that's definitely an advanced technique.
Right. Yeah.
But, like, normally, if you were just in this room, could you wall jump from the left side and get to that top tunnel? I guess it doesn't matter because it's not like it takes you somewhere new. Uh-oh.
Wow, if anything, the phase shift really dicked me over. All right, I'm going to have to think about this more, and I think we'll next time on Play the Hits it.
All right.
But yeah, okay. It, in a weird way, sequence breaking kind of screwed me up because...
it messed you up a little bit.
I mean, they don't, like, tell you the next place to go, but they kind of, like... like, they'll deposit you in the general vicinity of where you're supposed to go, you know?
Okay.
And so, by sequence breaking, yeah. My guess is that we want to go to... my guess is that we want to go to Kataris.
Yeah, we're trying to... I guess it's just kind of deciding what would you have usually gotten.
Right, yeah.
Would it have been the bombs?
Right, and again, I've only played through this once, so it's going to be...
All right.
Alrighty.
We'll figure it out.
Yep, we'll see you next time, my friend.
All right, see you then.